I'm good.
Okay,
Sorry.
cool. Nah, you're all good. You're all good. Don't apologize. All right, here we go. In three, two, one. We continue our coverage from Super Bowl Radio Row in San Francisco. I'm Pat Strathman, a guy that you can hear on a regular basis on ESPN Wichita in the morning. It's Evan Cohen joining us here with Unsportsmanlike with Evan, Canty, and Michelle. Glad to have you here, Evan. It's a Super Bowl without the Chiefs. We're sad in the Midwest.
Pat,
right
that's an
now.
interesting way of saying it. Like, this is actually now weird for you.
Yes.
Like showing up here and not talking about the team that you talk about 24/7, right?
Yes, correct.
So what are you like thrown off by this? Do you feel like it's not a real Super Bowl because the Chiefs aren't in it? Because I'm a Pats fan. I probably felt this way for years. Although, well, not when the Chiefs were in it, but maybe when Cincinnati or other teams were in it. I don't know.
It's strange. I was talking to a radio station in Colorado, and they asked me, I'm still trying to figure out what you're doing here. I'm like, well, okay, hold on. What are you doing here?
Right.
And they're like, well, you realize that we were close. I mean, I get it, Denver Broncos fans. I understand completely. But yeah, we were spoiled. This is my fifth radio row. And 3 of the 5, I've had to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. And this year, it does feel strange. And I don't know, maybe the Super Bowl in general feels strange because you have Sam Darnold and Drake May, and you look at maybe the overall star power. You don't have a Patrick Mahomes. You don't have a Josh Allen. You don't have a Lamar Jackson. You don't have like these big names. And I don't want to discourage Drake May or Sam Darnold. They're very talented. They're obviously here for a reason. But do you get that sense to where maybe the star power isn't quite there? But maybe that's kind of the beauty of the Super Bowl, I suppose.
I think the star power is the brand that is the New England Patriots. But let me go back for a second. Your first radio row, was it a Chiefs?
L.A. It was the Rams and Bengals.
So you went before the Chiefs.
Yep.
Okay, because I'm fascinated by that. Because in my head, you went to the Chiefs. Then the ESPN Wichita is like, hey, this is really cool. Let's send Pat every year. And now you're like, well, I asked to go figuring the Chiefs are going to be here. And then the station's like, why did we send you to the Seahawks and the Patriots? But I think that the star power for me in this Super Bowl, I actually think it's the same star power we've had over every Patriots Super Bowl, which is Brady and Belichick still. Mm-hmm. That's all anyone seems to still be talking about is Brady and Belichick over and over and over again. And the non-Hall of Fame, right, with Belichick, the Brady comments and no dog in the fight. So I think, let's put this in your head for a second. 15 years from now, Kansas City Chiefs get into the Super Bowl. Reid's not the coach. Mahomes is not the quarterback. You and I have no idea who's going to be in that Super Bowl. I still think Reid and Mahomes are the star power for the Super Bowl no matter what, because the story is they did it without those guys. So I think so much of the star power around this Super Bowl is New England is here and Brady and Belichick are not.
It's a good way to look at it, honestly.
Really good. It's the same stars that you and I have grown up on our entire lives. Yeah. You know?
Well, I just think it's comical, though, how many people wanted the Chiefs not to make it, and be careful what you wish for, because now it's the Patriots who have been used to this scenario for
that's a good,
many years.
We talked all year on our show about the idea of somebody entering into the side door of the Super Bowl. What I mean by that is Chiefs to the front door, Ravens and Bills to the back door. Could there be like the Chargers entering in? And I don't think any of us ever thought it was going to be New England. And that, for all of the fans that had no interest in Kansas City being back there again, it kind of backfired because it's like it's the version of Kansas City before Kansas City that got in New England.
Do you feel like this Super Bowl is a Super Bowl of resiliency? Sam Darnold in quarterback purgatory found a way out.
Yeah.
He's now with Seattle doing quite well. Obviously did well in Minnesota. They made a choice going with J.J. McCarthy over Sam Darnold. Well, now you see what Sam's able to do there in Seattle, getting ready for a Super Bowl. Mike Vrabel, NFL coaching cycle just this past year. You don't see Mike Tomlin. John McDermott's gone. John Harbaugh's gone. Mike Vrabel ends up going to New England after being at Tennessee. Not a great situation, but he goes to a place that he's obviously familiar with and has won Super Bowls with there in New England. And you see him getting this team to the Super Bowl. Is that the theme for the Super Bowl this upcoming weekend? Is it really a theme of resiliency from what we see from these two teams?
Pat, I think it's an interesting point. I think the reason for needed resiliency would be different amongst the two guys you just mentioned. Darnold, I believe, put himself in a position where he needed to be resilient. I think we go too often to the place of like, oh, look at the Jets. They got rid of him. Like, he played his way out. I think that's pretty clear. Vrabel, on the other hand, it's utterly absurd that he was available for hire and that he needed to be resilient just out of circumstance. I don't think he put himself in that position. Here, you asked for a theme. My theme is we have two of the best organizations in the sport going at it, and I don't think that people acknowledge enough Seattle's run over the last 20 plus years. I believe in the last 20 or so years, they've only had 6 losing seasons, maybe more than that in the last 25 years. This is their third iteration of a QB coach combo to make it to the Super Bowl since the first time they made it with Holmgren and Hasselbeck, then Carroll and Russell Wilson, and obviously now McDonald and Darnold. I don't think if you and I were to sit here and Seattle wasn't in the Super Bowl, we would say, all right, top 5 most consistent franchise in the NFL over the last 20 or so years. We would have said Kansas City. We would have said New England. We would have said Baltimore. Maybe Buffalo.
Maybe.
Philly.
Yeah, Philly for sure.
We would have probably threw San Fran out there.
Would have been in a conversation.
We would have said Pittsburgh. Obviously. We would not have mentioned Seattle. We wouldn't have.
Yeah.
You're in Wichita. I'm in New York. We're not Seattle-based. I've never even been to Seattle to my knowledge. I don't remember ever being there. But look at what they've done over the last 30 years, 25 years. They've been awesome, and we never acknowledge it. So that my theme is organizational success, one that's obvious, one that's less obvious.
When you look back at Kansas City, you knew there would be a couple questions about the Super Bowl, but come on, we got to talk about the Chiefs.
Of course.
Everything went wrong. One-score games that they once won, they didn't. And now they look forward to next season with a quarterback coming off an ACL injury. Travis Kelce, is he in? Is he not? Is he a shell of himself? You have the lack of a rushing attack, no pass rush last year, and they have so many problems that they have to correct, but they don't have a lot of money to do it. Draft-wise, they have some capital, but they could get more. They trade away Trent McDuffie, Chris Jones. There's so many ways that they can go about retooling this upcoming offseason. I'm very curious to see how they do it. But in your opinion, as you look back at last year, what was the overall thing that you saw in Kansas City that clearly is why they were not able to get to this point playing for another Super Bowl?
They did exactly what I would have done if I was in charge of that team, and I would have been wrong. And what I mean by that is I believe if you have a generational quarterback, the only thing you should worry about is putting linemen in front of them, and that's it. I'm not paying high prices for wide receivers. I'm not paying high prices for running backs. I need a defense that can be good enough. Their defense has obviously been better than that. But I would have been wrong. He needed help around him. I thought forever the only comp you can make for Mahomes and Kelsey is obviously Brady and Gronk, right?
Yeah.
Brady, if you look at his most successful teams, he did not have the biggest of names until he made them big names, right? The best offense he ever played on was 07 with Randy Moss. Randy Moss never won a Super Bowl. Wes Welker never won a Super Bowl, right? If you look at some of the guys that with the Patriots, if you look at some of the guys that have actually been extremely successful in New England, it's like what's happened in Kansas City where Isaiah Pacheco, where did he come from, right? So I would have leaned into that exactly the way that Brent Veach and company did, and I would have been wrong. So I am fascinated as to how they team build moving forward as well, Pat, because now I want to see, are they going to do what New England did? And like the moment Tyreek Hill gets cut, come on, we're going to pay you $10 an hour, but come on back. We don't have to teach you the system. You've worked with the enemy forever. You're good to go. Are they going to go that route? Are they all of a sudden going to call Philadelphia and say, we'll give you our first rounder for A.J. Brown? Are they going to get in the Max Crosby conversation, which they're not going to trade him to the Chiefs?
Sure.
Conceptually, you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't know which way they go. My guess is they go against what they did last year, which is what I would have done, and I would have been wrong. And they go the opposite direction and try to establish maybe one last run with an all-star team. What do you think they're going to do?
Well,
you know better than I do.
There are, and like I said, so many directions that they can go in, and there's a lot of different things that are going to hinder them from doing some stuff, right? So a couple years ago when they had Tyreek Hill, they traded him away,
which I thought was the right move.
They get a boatload of draft picks, which had to happen because
bidding war, Dolphins, Jets.
Yeah, they had to get younger. The roster had to be overall better. It can't just be top heavy. It's got to be better from the top down. It's just got to be better, 1 through 53. Because I'll never forget the very first Super Bowl with the Chiefs involved. That's all I heard all week was, all right, well, Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, but the Eagles have everything else. They have the rest of the 53-man roster. I'm like, well, hold on a moment. That doesn't seem right. But then he started thinking about it. It's like, well, you might be onto something a little bit. Anyways, so you look at what they could do to try to get more draft capital. Well, you're not going to get 5 draft picks for Trent McDuffie. You're not going to get 5 draft picks for Chris Jones. You're not going to get that. Now, maybe you could, add 1 or 2. Trent McDuffie maybe could be worthy of a first-round draft pick. Chris Jones, all those people thinking that he's worthy of a first-round draft pick. Hate to break it to you, ain't going to happen.
Not at this point.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So you can't do that. This isn't Madden. You can't do that. And then, of course, they have to look at the offensive line, as you brought up. I think it's unique because you have so much money already poured into the offensive line. Jawan Taylor could be a cap casualty, but you already have Jalen Morris waiting in the wings as a swing tackle. Paid a lot of money for him to be at right tackle.
Josh Simmons at left tackle. Can he stay healthy? Kingsley Suamataia, it's clear that he's better as a guard compared to a tackle. Well, they tried him at tackle. Didn't work.
And it was a failure.
Yeah.
So you have that all squared away. So, and I'm curious to see what they do in the draft because, you have Jeremiah Love. So many Chiefs fans are thinking, oh, you can get him out of Notre Dame.
That's what I would not do. Great. And he's a great young man. He's been in studio with us. I can't draft a running back in the top 10. I'm only drafting linemen. I'm only drafting offensive linemen.
Yeah.
See, I just fell into the trap. I fell into the exact same trap. What did I just say? I said, they got to do it differently. And now I'm just saying, do the same thing that I would always do, which is draft offensive linemen, protect Mahomes, and then you're going to be fine. But I'm going to be wrong, obviously.
Well, and I think the pass rush is such a big thing because Steve Spagnuolo, I think people, yes, the 2018 offense was amazing, and everyone wants that to return in Kansas City. But you look at what they did that got them to the Super Bowl last season in New Orleans, the defense was nails. And Steve Spagnuolo was able to hit on all these different blitzes. I thought the pass rush was better that year. This past year, it was not that great, which is why you look at the edge rushing group. I think that's where you got to start. Get a guy who could truly win one-on-one blocks and can get back to the quarterback and wreak havoc. That's where I would start.
So would you trade your first-round pick for an established player?
See, and that's the other side of the coin. And my big thing would be, and now the cap number, it's a funny thing about cap, right? Because the cap number is a thing until it isn't a thing, or it isn't a thing and it is a thing. Like, I feel like you look at what Brett Veach has done the last couple of years, they have like $45 in the back pocket and they find a way to extend Chris Jones. It's like, well, hold on, that doesn't add up. How does that work? So,
well, the way to do it is just guarantee more money from Mahomes, restructure,
correct.
And that's how you free it up.
Right, and that's
you're never going to be burnt by doing that,
right?
Because it's Mahomes.
Correct. So that's why when you bring that up, I'm curious to see what kind of price tag it would be for the player that they're going to bring in. And when you bring that up, surely you're talking a true number 1 wide receiver. At least that's basically what I would think. I don't know.
So what do they have, number 9 in the draft?
Yep.
Would you trade 9 for A.J. Brown?
He's a different build at wide receiver than what they have because they also need to – you look at their wide receivers, they're all pretty much the same.
Speed. And even their biggest guy, Tyquan, is tall but fast.
Yes. So you look at that, you have Xavier Worthy, and you have the same build across the board. A.J. Brown's not the same build. If he can be a guy 3rd and 15, I need a first down, I can throw it up to him, he can go up and get it. Sure.
He's more of what Hopkins was supposed to be.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't do it, but I would consider trading 9 for something of significance if I had to.
What's going to happen on Sunday?
Well, I'm hoping the Patriots win. that's what's going to happen.
You're not even.
I'm hoping.
Shying away from it.
I'm hoping. I'm a Pats fan, so I'm hoping.
What's the score?
More points than the other team. I'm a Patriot. I can't do that kind of stuff. Come on now. Go Pats.
I tried to get you to take that bait.
No, not going to do it.
He's not going to take the bait.
No.
He's not going to take the bait. Well, I've been telling people all week, I really would like to see Seattle with the ball near the goal line. They're trailing.
You want the Malcolm Butler play over again. Instead
of a pass, they actually hand the ball off. And
well, in that spot, if that happens, if you're the Patriots, there's no point of even having cornerbacks on the field. You just know that they're going to run the football. There's no way it's going to be K9 running the football. You know that.
Mike Vrabel. All right, we're going to put 10
Where's
in the box.
Get Malcolm.
10 in the box. We're
goal line with 3 corners. That's what he did.
Evan, appreciate your time as always. You have a great rest of the week, and can't wait to listen to you moving forward on ESPN Wichita. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it.